When Sarah heard this, she dropped the bowl. No! Why didn't you stop it? You said yourself that you couldn't find a reason to convict him, she burst out. I would have lost favor with the Emperor. He's my father-in-law, after all, Pilate explained. You're a coward, she shouted. Mind your manners, girl. I am the governor of Judea, and you will respect me. Why should I? You're a pathetic governor. That's it. I've had enough of this. Someone get this girl out of here and teach her some respect, he roared. Felix dragged Sarah out of the house before her tirade would get any worse. Pilate had a sick feeling in the pit of his stomach, but his fear of man's approval was far greater than his desire to do what was right. Why did you take me out? She cried angrily. Do you realize who you were talking to? You could have been stoned for talking to him that way. The Roman official highly disapproved of rebels, Felix lectured. This was your big idea. You're the one who suggested this. Sarah bit his head off. Her face was completely flushed. I did all of this for you, because I knew you took a shine to him. You really admire him. You're not even grateful for what I did for you, so maybe I should have just stood back and let him die. Felix shot back. Sarah ripped the sword from Felix and held the dagger to his throat. She was in no frame of mind to think straight. Whoa, calm down. You want me to calm down? Stop, they heard a low voice cry out. I thought you said we were like family. Stop fighting, Caleb pleaded. Caleb tried running off, but Felix caught him in his arms. You're right, I'm sorry. Sarah rushed off to catch up with the crowd. She saw Jesus fall onto the ground when the weight of his cross became too heavy to carry. Sarah ran in front of him and knelt down. She was surrounded by a pool of blood, but she did not care. She looked into his brown eyes to see the fear and the agony, and yet she also saw the hope of the world. Through her falling tears, she saw the teardrops roll down his cheeks. She touched his bloody cheek and reached out her hand for his. Before she knew it, she heard someone yelling at her to get out of the road. Get out of the way, girl, one of the soldiers barked. Sarah stood up. I will not leave, she said boldly. Quintus brought down his whip on Jesus' back. Don't stop! You're hurting him! Sarah cried out as she grabbed his arm. We told you to move aside, Quintus shouted. Sarah did not budge, so Quintus raised his hand to strike her. Before he could, Felix jumped in and pulled Sarah to the side of the road. I think you've done enough damage, Quintus. You're not hurting Sarah, too. You're nothing but a lunatic. Why did you do that? Sarah cried. Did I not vow to protect you? Caleb tugged at his arm, so Felix opened his arms to Caleb and Sarah. They both buried their faces in his chest and sobbed. Why does he have to die? Caleb asked. Caleb was so young, and he couldn't understand why the man who had healed him be crucified. I don't understand, Sarah added. Some things are hard to explain, my dears. But I'm sure he knew what he was doing. Isn't there anything else we can do? Sarah asked in desperation. I'm sorry, my little sister. Did all that we can do. Like every man, we must die alone. I've never seen anyone die like this before. It's horrible. She said when Felix kissed the top of her head. I know how it feels, he said, trying to comfort her. I guess you could say I'm proud of you for standing up for what you believe is right. Three of them had been standing there for a long while when they heard a loud cry. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Sarah was so amazed to hear this. The people had just torn his skin up and scorned him and spat on him, and he was still willing to forgive them. All of a sudden, the sky opened up and rain poured down upon the earth. Then she heard thunder. It looks like there's a storm approaching. We have to find shelter, Phil said. Why can't we go back to John Mark's house? She asked. It's too far to walk in the storm. Besides, he ran off. I'm not sure where he is. Felix had to shout to be heard above the storm. Come on, children. We have to find somewhere to rest for the night. He grabbed their hands, but Sarah jerked hers away. Will you stop treating me like I'm a child? I'm 14 years old, and you're not my father, she snapped. I'm not treating you like a child, Sarah. I'm treating you like any protective old brother would. Fine, but I don't want to feel like you're trying to be my father. She grabbed Caleb's other hand. They found a cave, and Felix picked Caleb up as they ventured deeper and deeper inside. Felix, I'm scared, Caleb shuddered at the sound of the thunder. It's okay, Caleb. It's just a storm. Felix made him feel better. Caleb, Sarah, and Felix all huddled together inside the cave. Felix did his best to keep Sarah and Caleb warm, because they were both so thin. Sarah was shaking uncontrollably. Caleb sat on Felix's lap, and Sarah sat close by. I'm sorry for snapping at you, Felix. I never would have done anything to hurt you. I was just so angry. I wasn't thinking straight. I know, and I'm sorry too, he said. Sarah's tears were still flowing freely. He was the first person to help me realize my value. I just started to get to know him, and then I had to see him die. I'm sorry, Sarah, Caleb said, throwing his tiny arms around her. Sarah managed to force a smile. Thank you, Caleb, she said as she hugged him. Sarah then turned to Felix. So many people have given up on me. Everywhere I've turned, I'm rejected. I know I can be difficult to love. Why haven't you given up on me? You're like family to me, Sarah. Families aren't supposed to give up on one another. And you're not difficult to love. What's going to happen to me? Caleb asked Felix. Nothing's going to happen to you. I'm going to take care of you, Felix promised him. Are you going to be my big brother? Caleb asked. Yes, of course I am. I'll always look after you, Caleb. Both mean a lot to me. I've never told anyone this before, but 10 years ago I had a baby brother. My mother gave birth to a little boy, but he died shortly after he was born. That was the start of me putting up walls. It's okay, you have me, Caleb said as he gave Felix a huge hug. Caleb had a sweetness about him that made him such a lovable child. Felix scratched Caleb's back. I think the reason why we've all become close so fast is because we each lost people in our lives and we needed someone else to kind of fill that missing gap, Felix said. I think you're right, Sarah agreed as she leaned her head on her shoulder. Caleb and Sarah were both still shaking because the three of them were all so tightly packed. All their body heat virtually warmed each other up. She still wanted to cry, but could not squeeze any more fresh tears out. Although Sarah was still upset about everything that happened, an overwhelming sense of peace swept over her, and she closed her eyes. It was a shame that more people didn't judge Sarah based on who she was as a person. When it came right down to the core, Sarah's strong personality was likable. She would never stop fighting for what she believed in, and she hadn't lost her ability to believe beyond her imagination. She was a rather bold young woman. Sarah had a very compassionate heart because she couldn't stand to see people get hurt. But instead of people looking at her good qualities, they chose to look down upon her because of who her father was. Felix had been the first person to see value in her. Felix used to be such an angry and bitter young man, but he had changed because of Sarah. She had helped to break his hard shell and to bring out his gentle and caring spirit that had been tucked away. It had been only a few months since they had met, and yet Sarah and Felix had grown to be like siblings. When they met Caleb, they took him under their wings and treated him as if he was a little brother, because he too was hurting. Felix and Caleb had all realized that caring for each other was far more important than their own well-being. They had all reached out to one another, and yet nothing the 3 years had learned was more pivotal than God's sacrifice they had just witnessed. Though they did not understand the significance of his death, the love that they had demonstrated for one another was the same love they had just been given. The morning sun peeked its rays through the cave opening, but Sarah woke up shivering. When she finally opened her sore eyes, she realized she had moved away from Caleb and Felix in her sleep. Sarah's eyes were puffy and red from crying so much the previous day. She walked outside and felt the dew beneath her feet. Seeing Jesus and the cross on the hill made her feel like crying all over again, so she quickly ran back inside. Can we go back to John Mark's house now? Sarah asked Felix. Actually, I think I should take you home. There's nothing left here that's worth seeing. But what about you and Caleb? What are you gonna do? I have to go back to Rome to collect my inheritance. The future is very uncertain. I don't know what I'm doing, but I do have to take you back. Let's go say goodbye to our friends then, she said. Sarah, Felix, and Caleb walked down the street together until Sarah saw something that made her heart leap for joy. She thought she saw her mother, Mikkel, standing there. Mother, is that really you? Sarah asked as she ran towards the figure standing on the road. Sarah ran into her mother's arms, and tears of happiness streamed down her mother's face. Mikkel kissed the top of her daughter's head. I'm sorry, Mother. I should have listened to you. It doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is that you're safe, Raquel told her. This was such a sentimental moment that Sarah almost forgot. Felix and Caleb were still standing there. She pulled away so she could introduce them to her mother. Mother, these are my two brothers, Caleb and Felix. Raquel looked up at Felix and her smile vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Her face turned stone cold and she narrowed her eyes. She made Felix feel very uncomfortable by staring him up and down. Sarah broke the awkward silence. Felix looked after me on this journey, she told her mother. I'm sure he did, Raquel scoffed. Say goodbye to your little friends. We're going home now.